So a marginal tax rate means this: whatever tax rate you pay on your last dollar is your marginal rate. When you make around, say, $30,000, your marginal tax rate is 12%. That means that money that you make above a certain threshold gets taxed at 12%. But that doesn't mean that all of the money you make gets taxed at 12%. The first $9,950 gets taxed at 10%, and then on that $9,951st dollar, you don't pay 12% on the whole of what you've made. You pay 10% for the first $9,950 and then 12% for that next dollar. This makes good sense because if you're paying 10% of those first $9,950, meaning that your tax bill is $995, it wouldn't make sense to let that one extra dollar push your tax bill up $200 to approximately $1,195. Instead, that one extra dollar in income is going to cost you a little bit more in a marginal way. Rather than having to pay income tax on 10 cents of that $1, you pay 12 cents of that $1, but that rate is still only applying to that next dollar you make after $9,950, not any of the first $9,950. This sometimes leads people to talk about the difference between what are called marginal tax rates and effective tax rates. Your effective rate would simply be the total amount of dollars you're paying in taxes divided by your income. The more and more money you make, the more that effective rate would approach your marginal rate, but it never actually gets there. The median household in the United States is going to be somewhere in this third bracket, paying 22% marginal tax rate, but effectively paying closer to 14 to 17%. There are, of course, lots of other things that go into these calculations, tax breaks and credits and everything else, and all of that's going to change whatever you actually pay in taxes, which is going to change your effective tax rate. But when it comes to just the income brackets alone, it's actually not a crazy system. It works roughly the way that it's supposed to, meaning if you have an opportunity to make extra money, in most cases, it is worth it, regardless of whether or not it's going to bump you into another marginal tax bracket. And of course, make sure that you pay your taxes on time, lest the army come knocking at your door.